All right, friends, let's go ahead and fill in our fun little heart here that we've pierced. So I'm gonna use 2 different colored hard gels for this process. One is the color that I have over on top of my nails, but underneath I want to use just a little bit of a more neutral so it like matches my natural nail. A couple reasons for that. One is it will help that piercing shape not maybe pull through. So I'm just gonna give my nail all sorts of good prime, and inside there too. Okay, and then I'm gonna do this on the top. I'm gonna use the base to the hard gel right up from the get-go. Okay, tuck it in tight so I can go right to my process, so I can fill it right after I fill it in. And this like filling underneath with a neutral is just something in my brain that makes sense. Look how it filled that in. That's not what we need. That would be cool though, a glass fill in. But that's not what we're after, so let's clean that out. And I got a little fuzzy on my nail. Okay. We're all good to go now. Are we? I didn't anticipate that. There's a fuzzy, like I have never seen. There, now we're good to go. Goodness gracious. Okay, so you can put some underneath if you want. It already kind of seeped underneath. I just wanted it inside the edges of that piercing. So I would have my client cure this and close my base up. Now, I only need a little, and I'm gonna give it just a touch of a stir because the color and pigment can separate. I haven't used this in a minute. Such a good color. I'm just gonna take a little bit, just like barely, okay? And I'm just gonna brush it on underneath, just like that. Brushed on underneath. See how it covers the hole? And up here, it's not quite level with it. There's still stuff to be filled in, but that will help. And we're gonna cure it. I'm gonna cure, so I'm gonna put it in my light upside down like this first to cure from underneath. And then I'm gonna pop this lid on and put it over. And I'm just gonna kind of wipe off on my clean surface that color because I'm gonna move right into this, giving that a few more seconds to cure from all the angles. We're gonna give it more time in a sec. Now I'm gonna treat this like I would any situation, but when I fill it, but for now, before I do up here, I am gonna fill in my piercing and then just like feather it. Does that make sense? Like leave it how it is, let it self-level. You can see it just a little bit in there, and that looks good. So we're gonna go in there and start curing it. And then once it's cured, I can go ahead and do my whole fill process, and it should be really covered up and strong and good to go. So I'm just going to give that a few more seconds because we're gonna do more time in the lamp here in a moment, but I wanna give it a good chance to get ahead of itself. And then now I'm gonna go in. If you want detailed classes on how to do nails, I offer in-person and online classes. You can find all info for current ones available and sales going on and all of that on hdhhub.com. That's just too much product. There we go. So that's where I'll refer you for like detailed classes, but I love sharing as much as possible here. This might not be as much fun for you. I'm gonna flip over and adjust shape. I discuss this in some of my classes and what I'm doing here. But essentially, I'm using gravity to help me. Ta-da! And we're all back good as new. I'm gonna go ahead and cure it. That was fun, huh? So see, if you do piercings, you're not stuck for forever. I had done my nails in my hard gel, so I fixed it with my hard gel. You could do a similar thing with acrylic, acrygel, any of it. So you are not stuck with piercings if you don't want to be stuck with piercings. I do think I'm gonna end up piercing more nails in more fun ways here coming up in the future, but for now, this is fantastic because we're good to go. And providing that neutral base underneath, and I'll cleanse this so it's not sticky, but really helps that disguise that piercing. It's barely there. Anyway, thanks for joining me.